What is up, guys? Talkin with Tonka, episode 27. I'm solo dolo here today in the studio, but that's okay. I need to learn how to do this by myself. But special guests in the house today. We have food social media influencer, Chase U. What up?
What's going on, Tonka? First off, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it. Honor to be here.
I love that. So Chase U, it's not your real name.
It's not. No, the first line in my Instagram bio is, my name is Doug. So Doug is my name. So it's always funny, like, if I'm seeing people out and about, what they call me is how I know where they know me from. Like,
right.
They know me from Instagram, or if somebody took the time to read the first line in the bio.
Yeah. So I obviously took the time to read your bio, but I think a lot of people forget the bio part, right? So everyone's always like, link in my bio. Does anyone ever go to the bio?
Yeah, I feel like it's an untapped area of like you can put a lot in there. I think everybody's in there with a link tree now, and sometimes a link tree gets a little risky. You don't know what's in that link. But,
you got an OF in there, bud?
Yeah, well, you never know what's behind the paywall. Cheesesteaks After Dark.
That'd be a great name for a podcast, actually.
I can't say that I haven't thought about it before. I'm like, man, there's a lot of good marketing here. So if anybody wants to do that, you let me know. I have a marketing plan just for that.
I actually kind of really like that. Cheesesteaks After Dark. Because, like, if you think about it, cheesesteaks are probably one of the best drunk foods you could eat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know you've talked about this on a couple of the other podcasts, but shout out to Pancakes and Protein Shakes. You guys were talking about Steve's Steaks.
Yep.
Steve's Prince of Steaks is just one of those classic, good neighborhood joints that was always a spot where you're like, all right, after a night out, hanging out in Northeast Philly, this is where we're going. And
right. Comedy in the Boulevard, baby.
Hit every time.
Every
single time.
My buddy DJ Smooth used to work at a Steve's, right? And so we happen to have, that was like the Comedy in the Boulevard was in the middle of our gigs one night. He got done early, I got done early, and he's like, yo, let's meet at Steve's. I haven't been there in years. And that was the one he used to work at, right? So I go in, I usually just get whiz without. He's like, no. You got to get a whiz American without. Changed the whole game for me.
Yeah, you got to, doing the double cheese is a little bit different. Their liquid American is something special, but I will say, Steve, sometimes the slabs are great, but you want a little bit more. That double meat, honestly, game changer. You get double meat when you're really feeling like, a husky boy. I think that's the move.
Lately I have been a husky boy.
That makes two of us, man. There's been no stopping this train.
Yeah, for sure. Just talk a little bit more into the black part of the mic. If you can kind of angle it up. Perfect. Look at that.
Here we go.
Look at that. See?
How about that?
God, I love it. So it's been a recurring thing. People been bringing me gifts. I love this. So I don't do video anymore because I'm lazy, as you guys know. But he brought me like a childhood favorite of mine that you didn't even know, but you probably heard in the podcast because
I pay attention,
right? Which I love because a lot of people don't listen to my podcast that I bring on sometimes. So he brought me a black cherry wishnick from Hank's, and if you're from Northeast Philadelphia, I feel like you know what this is.
Yeah, I also want to point out, you call it wishnick. I've always called it wishniak.
Yeah, I did know. So
either way,
tomato.
I know. Crick. Which
I say crick. I say crick.
I say creek.
Yeah, that's a crick out there.
Yeah. So somebody brought this up to me the other day. Guy who I work with lives in Delco. Shout out to Delco, Yokaj. But he's like, I feel like the big differentiator is a crick is just running water. There's another little bit of water. But a creek is usually a body of water that has a shopping cart or things that shouldn't be in that body of water.
Yeah, there's a tons of bodies and other things in that creek out there.
You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah,
you never know what you're going to get.
The Schuylkill is one big crick. But I really appreciate this. I haven't had this in so long, and that is why I used to love black cherry White Claw. Because it brought me back to those days where me and my dad and my brother would go out on our boat. And my dad's yacht club, they used to have this, if you listen to podcasts, you heard this story before, but they used to have this machine, and you double tap the orange or the wishnick, and then you would get double cans. And that's how we'd fill our cooler. And thanks, man. I'm actually probably going to save this because I'm probably going to go see my dad next week.
There we go.
And me and him are going to drink it together.
Yeah, man.
And I'll video it because my dad's an OG. You would get a kick out of it.
Shout out to Hanks, run by Tony Salvatore, Northeast Philly legend. But yeah, we've done some stuff with them and listened to the podcast. I heard you talk about the black cherry. I got an orange cream soda in my bag that I'm going to save a little bit for later. But
yeah, I really appreciate that. And I actually didn't know they had diet root beer. I went to Chubby's because this is one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the podcast because Buster and you guys were having this conversation about Dells and Chubby's, and you're a Chubby's guy.
Yeah.
Which I love, right? Because Dells, I feel like, is a tourist trap. Everybody goes there. It's kind of like Geno's and Pat's of Roxborough, right? Sure. And Chubby's is kind of like the guy left in the corner. Yeah, Chubby's has fries. That's a selling point for me.
Yeah. I think with that too, because I think there's a couple places that are down there, and I could talk about this all day long. Yeah. This is how the whole Chase U thing got started.
Right.
But D'Alessandro's, in my opinion, I've been very open and honest about this. I don't like really talking bad about businesses because I don't like taking money out of people's pockets. However, D'Alessandro's, for me, they have a line down the block for a reason. But for me, underwhelming. Yes. Underwhelming. Yep. We did the one video with Fred X, good old Freddie Mitchell, 4th and 26. I think he gave it a 7.5 tip of the tongue, and that's an arbitrary scale. But I feel like that was pretty generous. I think if you get D'Alessandro's with the Wiz is a saving grace there. But it's bonkers to me that you need to order a D'Alessandro's cheesesteak and say that you want salt and pepper on it. They don't season the steak. Like it blows my mind that they don't do that. And Chubby's, I think Chubby's it's hit or miss which one's going to be better. But I think people often forget of the three that are down there. The Rook, I think, is the best cheesesteak in Manayunk right now. But of
shout out to Rich Ennis, that's my boy.
Yeah, they do a great job down there.
We should have filmed this there because he's been saying that I can come over there and record if I want.
Well, we'll have a round 2 of this podcast.
Because you know what's funny, that the more I do these, and like we'll talk for an hour and a half, and I'm like, there's so much more, right? So like I think as I progress into seasons and stuff, I'm definitely going to do part 2s and stuff like that because I love doing the live shows.
Right,
like, they actually go over really well. I have one coming up September 6th with Buster, actually.
Okay.
I had a musical duo, Dom and Jesse, on. Us three are going to interview Buster at Wicked Wolf, and they're going to perform after.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
that should be a fun time.
Yeah, trying to make it like an event.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that's what I did last time as well. I didn't have any performances, but I had 2 guests. I had Sean Brace and my buddy Smooth. So everybody came out.
Shout out to Fox Gambling.
Yeah, Fox Sports. Yeah. He brought me on a couple times. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Do you have any interest in doing stuff like that?
We'll see. I mean, if that's down the line, I know there's a couple guys who are doing stuff with like Bet Parks and things.
Yeah,
but it's not really my thing.
Yeah.
But I do want to say I want to make sure I get that point across. Of the 3 big boppers that are down there, I think people can't sleep on Barry's.
Oh, so
Barry's got the Cooper Sharp now.
I totally forgot that we were on that topic. See, that's what I told you about this podcast. We go like a million different lanes. So my girl, she's from Tampa, but lived here 12 years.
Okay.
So I forget where we were at. I was like, I'm really hungry. When I started, I'm kind of keto now, kind of not. So the reason why
you can't have any of these.
No, I'm eating. I'm definitely going to be eating these. Like I said, right now I'm bulk. I said, last week of summer, who cares? I'm just going to start my bulk now. But she's been here 12 years, and like Barry's is really one of the only places that'll give it to you without a roll in a basket or on a plate. So like I eat cheesesteaks without the roll. Right. So I was like, let's go here because I can get a cheesesteak without a roll because I was like hardcore keto at the time. And she was like, I never knew this place existed. And they're moving because they're knocking that whole corner down.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. My buddy runs Philly Gaines, and he was on that corner, and they kicked him out basically.
Wow.
But he went out on his own terms. He was like, I'm not going to wait the year. I'm just going to go get a new spot.
Big real estate always wins.
That's what I was hoping for this block of houses, to be honest with you. That's what I was hoping when I bought this house 4 years ago.
Yeah, just give it more time. I'm sure it will.
So we went to Barry's. She was blown away. She was like, this place is great. And they have crinkle fries. Like,
it's just like, I know we got the Hank soda, but I think they also carry their own soda that they do. They just started doing the Cooper Sharp. But when you walk into that place and you just see that like welcoming green with the booth, it's a neighborhood place that I think people just forget about because there's so much to talk about with D'Alessandro's and Chubby's. And to everybody who's neighborhood loyal to Barry's, sorry we're blowing up the spot right now, but it's a good cheesesteak.
It's the spinning bar stools for me. You know what I mean?
It sells you every time.
Yeah, when I grew up in Port Richmond, we talked prior to us recording, guys, and there was a place on the corner called Harry's. It was like a delicatessen, but he had a bar area and a couple of seats, and he would do breakfast and lunch. My dad knew the guy long time, gave us a tab. So we used to take our friends there, and we used to my dad's tab at the end of the week would be like $200.
Dude, wasn't it the best? Like you just walked in before you had a concept of what a tab was. It's like, I'll put it on the tab, and it's like, oh, this is free now. It's
that's the way I treated it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I would just get a box of hot fries, not a bag, just get the whole box. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they had the spinning bar stools there, so like it's kind of nostalgic for me to walk into Barry's.
And
You know, it's a hidden gem of Roxborough. You're absolutely right. Have you done a video there?
I did. I did one in the parking lot that cost you $1 to park in. So it's the best parking in the city.
Literally.
But no, I think I gave it a solid 8.0.
Yeah.
But of those three, I think without a doubt, that's my favorite. And it's tough to put the Rook in there because the Rook is still relatively new when it comes to I guess just in general, but it's not even close. Like,
have you had the meatballs at the Rook?
I haven't. I just had the cacio e pepe cheesesteak that Chef Andrew was kind enough to come out. He's like, hey, I want you to try this.
Yeah.
And it was stellar. And the thing's packed. Like, they are always generous portions.
Yeah. So I forget when they dropped the new menu. We went over there and tried the meatballs, and I was like, because I'm a big meatball guy. Like growing up, my aunt and grandmom used to fight over like who would make the best ones for me. Yeah. So now I'm like a meatball connoisseur. So I went to Bar John. They have like these meatball egg rolls, which are amazing. Okay. Yeah, it's like this It literally looks like a mini meatball sandwich, but it's an egg roll.
That's crazy.
So good. But I went to the Rook, tried theirs. I was like, wow, this is great. I wanted to try one of their cutlet sandwiches. I haven't done that yet. Yeah. But now that it's polka season, I can do whatever the hell I want.
Just do whatever. It's like a cool place in there, too. Yeah. A little corner bar restaurant. Like, feels like it belongs, but doesn't belong.
Were you ever there when it was East End Tavern?
I wasn't. That
was a sight in there, boy.
I love Manayunk so much, but I haven't spent, as much as I love it, I haven't spent that much time in Manayunk. Like, you grow up in Northeast Philly, you stay in Northeast Philly, and it's just like, okay, well, this is what I know, this is what I love, and Frankfurt Ave is where I spend a lot of my time. But once we started doing these reviews, if I have any excuse to get down to Manayunk, I'm going down there. Yeah, the biscuit lady down there. Oh, Tara's
since you posted that video, I've been like waiting for like the non-keto Eric to like really try that, because like. That's something I have to prepare for, because especially I have to get up early. Yeah. So we were leaving for the short, actually. Me and my girlfriend, Griselle, we were leaving early. It was like 8:30, and she was already sold out of that sucker.
Yeah, we walked in. I've been, ever since I started like getting a little bit of popularity on TikTok, one of their chefs reached out and was like, you got to come out, you got to come out, you got to come out. And this was like when I had maybe 1,000 followers. Wow. So finally got out there. And as soon as I walk in, Tara walks through because somebody said, oh my God, do you know who's here? Which is always just like a cool feeling. Like, I'm just a guy who eats food.
Feel like Dave Portnoy doing a pizza review.
Exactly. And I walk in and you kind of see Tara go, it's Chase, isn't it?
Oh,
and she walks out and goes, we just sold out. Like, we just sold out of our last biscuits, because she wanted me to come do one of their cheesesteak biscuits.
Ooh.
But she had their cinnamon sugar ones that I ended up reviewing, and they were dynamite. And most of the time, like, biscuits are super dry. Hers are incredible. They're sweet.
I've heard great things.
Oh my God. I could go on and on. And that was just like a, hey, surprise, we're here type of deal. Like, it was a great experience. I know they're opening up another spot, a bigger spot, because they're getting out of Lucky's.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they're getting, well, I shouldn't say they're getting out of Lucky's. I don't think they're going anywhere in Lucky. So, Tara, I apologize for saying that. They're not going anywhere to my knowledge. Yeah. But they have a bigger spot in Plymouth Meeting that's going to be their second location. That looks like it's going to be stunning.
Nice.
So,
I love that when your small business is successful enough to move into different areas. That's awesome.
Cafe Carmela just did that.
Yeah.
That's my number one cheesesteak. I'll say that right off the bat. Cafe Carmela's is my number one.
Where's that at?
So, the original Cafe Carmela is right off Home Circle, right down the street from the best high school in Philadelphia, Father Judge.
Yeah, I know where that is.
So right down the street from there, in a little strip mall. But they just opened up their second location in Huntington Valley. And just kudos to all these people, businesses especially, who survived or opened up during COVID and now have the opportunity to open up a second shop. I mean,
yeah, it's amazing what small businesses were able to even survive COVID
to endure that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And they're still pushing forward. That means they really love what they do. And I love to see that, because that's what we were talking off camera. It's like, I want to bring a segment to this show where, say, I get a food influencer in your, like you, and then we hit it off, and maybe we can go do a live podcast at like a new business and like promote the business, and we can review one of their things like on the air, which I think is a great idea for these new guys that are coming up. But you also brought me something else. What is this?
Little 6-pack of Lochel's Donuts right there in my hometown now, little Hatboro, PA.
Nice.
So they were voted, I think, in 2018, America's Sweetest Bakery.
Nice.
They had a little competition. That competition is no longer around.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've helped them with their social media and their marketing and stuff. But I've been a customer of them for 5 years since living in Hatboro. And they said, look, we'd love the opportunity to work with you a little bit more. So obviously, you know, that's an opportunity to help grow a small business. And they, without even me, like they've done some really good things. They just got invited to the Eagles training camp by Casey Marchetti, who was Fletcher Cox's girlfriend.
Yeah, I know Casey.
Yeah,
Fletcher's a good friend of mine.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, so Fletcher
actually DJ'd Casey's 30th birthday party.
Oh no, that was just like a couple.
Well, no, wait, was she 30 then? It was during COVID, so it
29 plus 1.
Yeah, it might have been 29.
yeah. But no, they just got invited because Casey had reached out during the Eagle season because Loschel's made all of these player jersey cookies, and they wanted some of the Fletcher Cox ones and Brandon Graham ones. Yeah. So they just sent him out a box, and Casey was been connected with them for quite some time. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty cool to see like them pop in the Loschel's DM. And be like, oh, this is, you know, it's like a childhood dream come true.
Like Fletch is a good dude.
Yeah,
Casey's a good girl too. Yes. I knew Casey before I knew Fletch because I would DJ at Vesper, and she was a server there. So that's how I met her.
And she's just like a South Jersey girl, right?
Yeah,
like South Jersey, and now she's you know
living life.
Yeah, it's funny.
I met Fletch through a buddy of mine, Jeremy Macklin, who used to be on the team as well. And it was kind of he's the only Eagles jersey I own is Macklin, because I'm a Raiders fan, as you can see.
It's fine. I think we all grew up as Raiders fans in Philadelphia. Like we all had the Raiders starter jacket.
Bo Jackson. Come on. Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay, you're a couple years behind. I'm 39. So Bo Jackson was huge when I was growing up. You know, Bo knows this, Bo knows that. So I was just on that Bo's train, and my brother was a Niners fan because he was a big Montana guy. So it was like a rivalry growing up. So we just actually are still the only Philly team we don't like support. Or the Eagles.
That's crazy.
And it's funny. Fletch knows that. Yeah. And like cracks on me all the time. And I went to the Eagles game in Vegas, and we had like the end zone seats, and he came over and handed everybody a ball but me. And he was like, "Nope."
Yeah, not for you. We know who you cheer for.
Yeah, it was funny. And he's a good dude. And like he looked out for me during COVID.
That's
and
awesome.
I did a couple parties for him, and he's a nice dude.
That's what it seems like, man. Like again, they reached out. Casey reached out and was like, "Hey, you know, thank you so much for doing this. We want the cookies." And now they just did, I think, for Casey's birthday, like they made her the cake. They made her her other friend the cake. I can't recall her name, but she was on MTV The Challenge. But yeah, Loschel's has been super, super great to me. I'm super grateful for those opportunities.
Awesome,
but they just have straight up delicious donuts. So I was like, I'm not going to bring you.
I can't wait to try them because, like I said, I've been eating whatever the hell I want lately, and my weight reflects it. I'm like 222 right now.
I hear you, man.
I'm living life.
Yeah, it's
so fun. You eat. I said this to pancakes too. Like you guys, like you eat so much food. It seems like. Yeah. What do you do to combat that?
Yeah. So I do spend a lot of time in the gym. So the whole Chase U name started.
I was going to ask you about that too.
So it all ties in. Chase U, obviously, again, not my name. It's become a nickname. Really cool. Never had a nickname growing up. So now that people are like, "Yo, Chase," I'm like, "Oh, it's me."
Yeah.
But Chase U was a play on my last name. Last name begins with U, but it was Chase the best version of you because I used to be a personal trainer. So I used to spend a lot of time in the gym. And then unfortunately I had to stop personal training because I tore my labrum. So I had to get that repaired. And then by the time we were getting ready to do rehab on that, COVID happened. So, you know, I had to stop training, and then the whole world stopped, and I still had a page that I was like, "Oh, this will do something." And it had like 1,200 followers. It wasn't anything crazy. It was just, you know, family and friends. And
because I tried to dive on you and try to find some stuff.
Yeah, I've archived a lot of stuff. It's no more.
I was like, this guy. Like I was going food.
Yeah, it is all food. So we did the personal training thing, and it's, you know, just flexing in front of mirrors, trying to get free protein from people. That was about it. And one day, I posted on Snapchat, sending it out to my friends, like maybe 5 or 6 people responded. But my wife and I were going shopping at Aldi. Shout out to Aldi in the Aldi Fine section. But they had a maple bacon coffee. And I was like, yeah, that was my reaction. So I took a screen or a picture of it and was like, should I do a review of this? I have no idea what made me say, like, let's do a review of this. 5 or 6 people said yes. We did it, posted it up on YouTube. It was like a 9-minute video. Had no concept of how long or short a video should be during that time.
Yeah.
But it had like 200 views. And for me, I'm like, oh my God, that's like 190 more views than just my inner circle that probably knows about this from Facebook.
Right.
So I was like, hey, let's do this. It was a little COVID passion project, which was great. Started just finding different coffee flavors that would be fun. I was like, all right, I'm a coffee guy. Let's do this. So we did that for a little bit, and I think one video broke 1,000 views. That was it was just something that was fun, something we enjoyed doing. Mm-hmm. And one day I'm scrolling on TikTok, and I was so anti-TikTok for the longest time because I was like, oh, it's not Vine. That's what I know, and nothing will replace Vine. So
that's when you know you're 30.
Yeah, seriously. Like that really, you ask people like, oh, TikTok or Vine? People are like, Vine's the best. It's like, okay, you're over 30.
Yeah.
So here's your cane. So I'm sitting there watching, and I'm like, you know what, man, let me just do something with this. And there was one of the trending sounds that was, if you want to stop me, you're going to have to effing kill me. And I forget what it came from, but a big thing I kept getting on the videos was, oh, if you're actually like a coffee person, you don't put cream in your coffee, you drink it black. And I'm like, well, that's up to each person. So
yeah.
I did a little skit where a barista was basically saying that, and it's a video of me pouring a lot of creamer in a coffee mug, and I only had one shot to do it because I was like, if I mess this up, this creamer's going everywhere.
Right.
But basically mouthing exactly that. If you want to stop me, you're going to have to effing kill me.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, as soon as I posted it, we're sitting at like 12,000 views. And I'm like, this is that first taste of like, oh my goodness gracious. I'm going viral. And TikTok back in the day, it was so easy to do it.
Oh, yeah.
So it became addictive. So we started doing more TikTok stuff with sounds, and it was fun. It was cool. But I was like, I want to do something a little bit different, but I didn't know what that was. So I would start going to places like coffee shops and be like, oh, okay, well, let's just get a coffee and then drink it in the car. Really wasn't doing anything. But again, it was fun, and I just enjoyed it, and I still enjoy this stuff. But one day, I see a video. My whole algorithm was like Philly and Philly cheesesteaks, and I see this one girl, Lower Marion Foodie. Her actual, I know her, Lizzie, an absolute gem.
Met her on a FaceTime with my friend randomly.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. Absolute gem. Met her a couple times in person, and she's like, see, I'm not actually that bad of a person, like in person. She's like, it's all just a thing. And I was like, no, she's an absolute gem. But she made a video talking about like the top cheesesteaks in Philly, and I'm like, well, your name's Lower Marion. Like, who gives you the authority on that?
Besides Kobe Bryant, no one else is from there.
Exactly. And I'm like, who give you? Shout out to Mamba.
Mamba Day. We're here on Mamba Day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I have tons of Mambas.
Okay. Wait, is it 824?
Yeah, it's 824.
Oh my God, what an honor to be here on Mamba Day.
I know. I love me a Mamba.
How about that? So she made that post, and her final one was, and if your favorite cheesesteak is from D'Alessandro's, mwah, chef's kiss. And I simply just stitched it, and I went, it's not that good. And that thing just kind of took on a life of its own. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I know a hell of a lot more about cheesesteaks. Like I grew up on top of a pizza shop that my dad owned. Like I know a hell of a lot more than cheesesteaks than I do coffee. Still wanted to try to do the coffee thing, but it's one of those times where, okay, this is what's doing well, and this is what you know, go in that route. So I have almost no coffee on my page anymore, and it's just a lot of cheesesteaks and pizza shops. But
yeah,
we started getting into Instagram. I started doing just like food reviews at these places that I would just stop by, or local places that I like, Locals being one of them, doing reviews in my car. I think it's Dame Eats, I think is the guy who's always in his car. He's like,
on YouTube.
Yeah. So I liked his style, and I was like, you just do this.
I actually follow him on YouTube.
Yeah, I was like, you just do this stuff in your car. This is great, and allows his personality show, and that's kind of like his thing. But I was doing it. It was doing well, going to all these places, and then I decided one day, you know what? I'm going to invest in myself a little bit here. I bought wireless mics, a whopping $300 for two wireless mics. And I was like, oh, well, let's see if this works. If this doesn't work, that was a waste of money, but here we are. So one day we go out to Angelo's, and this was like the first time I ever did a review right out there on the streets. And like my main job is to talk to people in front of a classroom. Not that I'm a teacher, but I recruit students. So that's what I'm used to. But sitting out front of Angelo's with a wireless mic for the first time, giving a review that I don't know if anybody's going to listen to, and I still don't know if people are going to listen to these reviews.
Yeah,
was frightening. Like, because I'm like, I don't know what, this is the first time that I'm doing this. I don't exactly know what I'm supposed to be doing. There's all these people walking by, but it was the first time we got out of the car onto the street out front of the place and just started reviewing this stuff. And that's what we've been doing since. And I try to take like this Guy Fieri approach of like, hey, let's.
You have a personality, and I think that's why people like you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what. So one of my videos from, I think it was want to say it was like the NLCS of last year. We did a rally towel video at the Phillies game.
Sure.
65,000 views in like 2 days.
Yeah.
It blew up. Instagram was starting to send me like notices like, hey, we want to pay you to make reels.
Right.
So I was my followers, like, yeah, they went up, but like my homies and they're like, dude, I had to put you on mute. So I'm posting reels every day.
Yeah.
Because they're paying me per reel view.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I like that kind of like is bringing me up to the point and I'm about to talk about. So this Instagram page called Game Day. Mm-hmm. They want to be like a on the street reporter, right? So I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. I was nervous, man.
Right.
And I'm a DJ. I talk in front of thousands of people all the time. Yeah. But there's something about a microphone and that camera. I was like, what the heck am I supposed to do? So I could kind of relate to you how you were scared because like I had to go up to strangers and talk to them and like make them sound like an idiot.
Yeah.
Like that was my job.
Right.
So like I kind of feel what you were saying, like in that aspect of like having a camera and a microphone, you're like, like what do you do? And then one of those actually the stupidest one I've ever done. It was like, where is San Francisco when the Eagles are playing the 49ers? It went viral. It's got like 990,000 views on Instagram. And I'm mad I couldn't monetize it because the other company did. But so has Instagram and TikTok, do they pay you to do things? I know you don't have to talk about that, but like,
no, that's totally fine. So I've gotten the Reels bonus once, and it was like make 5 Reels for $50, and I was like, oh, this is great. I think it was just a scam for Instagram to get my information, more information from me, because it's never happened again. TikTok has monetized, and they just came out with something that's called Creator Program Beta, and it's not bad. It pays a lot more than the other one does, but in saying that, it's like $75 here or there, which is great. You
probably paid for those microphones.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wasn't gonna make that money doing nothing. Yeah. So if I'm posting these videos already,
that's what I was saying. If I'm posting because that was during all the Phillies things.
Yeah,
I was like, there's no way I'm not creating content out of this. I'm on top of a rally bus going around City Hall. Like, I'm going to record this.
Dude, that's the thing. Like, I'm such an extrovert to where, like, doing those videos again, even sometimes I still get nervous with doing that, and they've done well. It just energizes me. Like, I love being in front of the camera. I like talking into the microphone, but more importantly, like, you're doing it for a cause. Like, there's a purpose. There's a plan of action here. Of if a business calls me out and says, like, hey, we want you to come try our food, we want you to come do a review. My ultimate goal is, I want to make content, but I want to get people through your door. Like I said, I grew up on top of a pizza shop that my dad owned, and unfortunately, he just wasn't successful. Like, he tried his best. We were little kids. He had kids to raise. He had a family to feed, and like, things just didn't work out. And I know what that feels like. That tension feels like. That stress feels like. And I was just a little kid, but to now, be a bearded man that's got bills to pay, you can go, holy shit! Like, that's what you were going through. So I love going to these places, and then like Berardi Brothers in Southampton is a great example. We walked in there and just unannounced. It's around the corner. I wanted to try it. A lot of people were recommending it. So went in there, did a review. The following 2 weeks, I think, pancakes and protein shakes went in there, and then the Godfather of Meat went in there. Ironically, or coincidentally enough, both named Mike. Yeah. So 3 of us hit that place, and then for about a week or 2 straight, Berardi Brothers had to keep posting, we're out of rolls. Wow. And I don't want to say like that was because of us, but I think it's a little bit more than coincidence, but like, that's the good problem that I want all of these businesses that I walk in and walk out of to have.
Right.
Like, let's get them more slips. Let's get them additional money to where they can go, all right, well, we took this risk on this crazy overhead that we now have because real estate's crazy. Right. Food prices are crazy. We're trying to offer fair prices to customers, so they got to do a crazy amount of volume. Let's get people through the door.
Right. And that's awesome that you do that, because like that's what Portnoy was doing with the pizza things, even when you couldn't go to a pizza shop. And so you're literally giving back to your community without even knowing it. Yeah. And you know that you know what I mean.
I hope, man. I hope that's what it is. I mean,
if they're saying they're out of rolls,
when the businesses come in, and then you get the people who were like, oh, thank you so much for coming in, and we appreciate your time. And then that's one thing. Like, another aspect is, I know that there's some influencers who are out there, or content creators, whatever you want to call them, who maybe go in and they give 30 minutes of the time, and they're charging a lot of money to do that. And I get it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say like, hey, these businesses haven't paid me to come out. People's time, it's money. There's a value that you're bringing, and it's social media marketing is now a business, and it's great to an extent. But I feel like there are some influencers out there and some content creators who are out there that this is just a cash grab. I want to know the story. I want to know the people. I want to know how they got here. Like, there's a lot of really great people that are out there that when you buy into them, it comes through, I think, in the video, but also like that now makes it a place I want to go back to. And when people are like, hey, I'm in this area, where can I go? Go there. And it doesn't feel like it's just a sell. It's genuine. And there's been numerous places that we've gone back to time after time that haven't been like, hey, come back whenever you want. It's just, yeah, well, I'm here and I like your food and I want to support you because I know your story and I know the struggles that you went through. And I want to make sure that those struggles don't happen to whatever I can do, whatever the best of my ability is to do that stuff.
Is your dad still with us?
Yes.
Yeah. Does he like what you're doing?
He does. And like he didn't get it at all at first, because back in the day when he was doing the pizza shop, like the way to market was you're either in TV, you're in newspaper, or you're hiring a bunch of little kids to go like
hand out the
menu. So I ran a lot of menus in my day, and I look at it and there's a part of me that feels so, I don't want to say guilty because you couldn't do anything, but I'm like, I wish I could have done this for him back then. But we were literally kids, and you know, I saw the struggles, and thank God, like I always call them like the American dream, my parents, because they had some tough times. They had a lot of tough times financially, and you know, they made their way from the city of Philadelphia, living on top of the pizza shop that my dad was running. Yeah. To now they got the corner property in the suburbs. Like my dad, he was like, I got kids to take care of, and decided to go into IT right before IT popped off, and he's
killing it.
Yeah, he's done well, but he didn't get it at all. He's like, Doug, I don't know what the hell you're doing. He's like, you're just eating food and stuff. And now, like, when I've expressed it to him and I'm like, hey, more importantly, like a father always wants you, your parents always want you to be successful, right? It's like, Dad, hey, no, this is financially beneficial and helps me pay off my mortgage quicker. He's like, yeah, oh, I get it. But now, like, when he'll see me, like we got a lot of airtime at the Phillies game the other day, standing next to Kruk and like the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. We've been filming videos for them.
Chocolate covered bacon.
Oh man, so dude,
their food out there is great.
It's insane, and I think people sleep on it because it's not the Phillies, but it is one level below them, and those guys are studs. Yeah, but like him seeing that stuff of like, oh my God, I think my son's like a local celebrity. Like, there's just the coolness factor.
He's taking to a Phillies game. He'll realize it real quick.
Dude, I'm sure you get it all the time, but people coming up being like, oh my God, you're Chase. Like, it's.
I don't get that, but I wish I signed a baseball during the World Series.
No kidding. That's awesome.
Yeah, these two little kids and then two drunk guys came up and I did it for them too. But
I love that.
These little kids were getting like everyone's autograph. I'm like, you sure you want my signature next to Larry Boa?
Yeah, dude. It's like, it never gets old. And I hope to God that feeling never gets old, because without those people, without an audience, right? Whether that's somebody that's in front of the ones and twos, or that's somebody who's holding me in the palm of their hand, watching me on their phone. This is meaning. Like, I don't want to say it's meaningless. There's nothing. There's so much that happens because of the support, the team that surrounds us. But going to a Phillies game and having people come up, like it happened the other day, guys, like, dude, I watch your stuff all the time. He's like, I got to get a picture with you after the game. And I'm like, absolutely. And he comes up and he goes, look, I like Portnoy. He's like, you got more money than God. He does a lot of good with that stuff. He goes, but he seems like a guy you just want to punch in the face. Yeah. He's like, you seem like a guy who's out on the bar having a beer with us on Friday, and you just so happen to go film some content on Saturday that goes viral. I'm like, yeah, I get that's
exactly
all I am. I'm just a guy who eats food, and my wife stands behind my camera, holds it, and films it. That's it. That's all it is.
So your wife supports this for sure.
Yeah, she is very behind the camera, which is surprising. She's super outgoing. She matches my energy beautifully. Shout out to you, babe. But everybody, like, if they're pulling up, they're like, that's who films it. I don't have a team. It's just me and her going out there.
It's funny. Like, I give, Griselle, like my girlfriend, she is my number one supporter. It seems like she's always filming me and like she's doing all the things I can't do while I'm DJing. You know, so I DJed in Ocean City, Maryland for the first time, and my buddy that booked me there put a lot of pressure on me. He's like, you gotta say hi to this person, this person, this person. Make sure you talk to this guy, this girl, this woman. Make sure you impress this person. I'm like, I gotta bring my girlfriend because she will talk to everyone and anyone, and she's the life of the party. She's like very like outgoing Latina. She's like real loud, like naturally. So like me and her, I like being the center of attention. So does she. So it's like we match each other's energy kind of the same way you said you and your wife do. And she knocked it out of the park for me. Like talking to the people I needed to talk to, sweet, like being sweet to this person, that person. So it was, I love the support system. I love that your wife supports what you're doing.
It's great. And she just like, my wife's name is Cara, Cara, in her words, the right way to spell it. So Cara, she's always there. She's the one to like hit me with it of like, if I say something online if I say a line wrong or something that just doesn't flow, she'll look at me behind the camera and just kind of like make a wincing face. And I'm like, what? She goes, do that again. So she is my director, I guess the producer to an extent, but I always say like there is no one that is a bigger fan of me than me. Yeah. Because I firmly believe you got to be your own number one fan. But man, she is competition for that number one spot.
So that's going to bring me to a question that I wanted to ask, and I'm going to actually record this. Yeah. Is there ever a time where you take a bite into the sandwich and then you're like, and you say a line and then you mess up and then there isn't that first bite clip anymore?
So thank the good Lord that has not happened yet. However, we had a crisis averted the other day. We had to go film a Hank Soda Bassett's collaboration for a root beer float. Got great content. Crushed it. The review went well, but then we did man on the street interviews at Bassett's, just asking people to sample it and everything. Get back to the parking garage, and parking's like $38 after 2 hours. Absolute bullshit. But we get there, and we're watching the video before we left the parking garage, and the mics weren't on. So all you heard was the noise from the Reading Terminal Market, and I freaked out. I was like, no, my wife, God bless her, was like, oh, calm down, which I did not receive too well. But we went back, turned the mics on, we crushed it. We got better interviews than we did initially, but there has not been a first bite where I went, oh, no, we aren't recording. So I think it's probably going to happen at some point, but thank God through the power and magic of editing, we can make anything look like it's the first bite.
So that I was always wondering that because I actually commented on that root beer float one because me and Griselle always, I feel like I've been talking about, I should have just had her co-host. I talk about her so much. We were just talking about how we miss like soda floats. Yeah. Like because my shore house is right next to an ice cream parlor. It's mom and pop like shop.
Isn't that like the name of it?
It's called Nannies and Poppies. Yeah. I see you've been there.
Yep.
You a CIL guy?
So not until CIL Iced Tea had invited me down to their party and was like, hey,
you were next door actually. My buddy Kurt was DJing that event.
Yeah, that's where I met him. Kurt, what's it?
Courtesy.
Yeah, Courtesy.
Yeah, I actually invited him to co-host today, but he was busy.
God damn it, Courtesy.
Yeah,
How
right.
dare you?
Yeah. So it's funny, like it's kind of going off topic, but I like having co-hosts sometimes because this was a one-man show for a long time. And then, I shouldn't say long time, it's on my 27th episode, but they think of things that I might not be thinking of at the time. Right. You know what I mean? But I was like, let me just roll this one solo. See if I can do it. I'm a big creature of, if it doesn't happen naturally, just let it go.
Yeah.
So here we are.
It's happening. So I want to get back to it though. The root beer floats, and it brings me back to childhood.
Oh, dude,
that first sip, man. I said it in the video.
Takes you back to Harry's, man.
But like the first sip, and I try to keep all of these videos very honest, very transparent. And I said it again in the video. I was like, I feel like I'm 5 years old again, having root beer floats with my parents and my grandparents. Like that was just a thing for us. And I don't know why, but there's just something about ice cream and a little bit of soda. But yeah, like I said, that first sip, first bite has disaster has been avoided.
Yeah, because I can only imagine like something being so tasty that you can't even talk. Like I have, because like I don't eat sugar that often. So now when I try these, I'm actually going to probably post a review of one of these donuts. So when I bite into something like so sugary and sweet for the first time, I'm mostly like, ugh.
Dude, I think, and this is some of the other content creators, I see their stuff and it's just 15-second clips of just hovering over the food. It's great. It works. They got a lot more followers than me. I'm sure they're doing better business than me financially, but not better business ethically.
That's right.
But I think there's a beauty, like there's an art, there's something like when you are telling the story of how good something is with your face or physical reaction, like the food looks great, but baby, tell the story. Like let the people know about it, because like you said, you take a first bite of something. I felt this way with the Cafe Carmelis cheesesteak when they had the second opening or their Huntington Valley opening. I was like, I don't even know what to say about this. Yeah. Like, it's that good that I don't have words for it. Just come here and give it a shot.
Yeah. So, and I love your tagline.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's just like, because it's so natural sounding. And that's what, when I saw, like, cause I obviously seen you over TikTok and Instagram, and then I saw you in one of Buster's videos with
Philly Captain.
Yeah. My brother, when I saw my brother's a big Phillies guy. So like when he saw that I had you on, he's like, no way. How'd you get that? I was like, this is how it happened. So I told him about to tell the same exact story. I've known Buster through my buddy DJ9 forever. We used to play NHL on Xbox or PS4 during COVID again. Okay. So, and he used to live stream on Twitch, and so did I. Was DJing. That got me through COVID, honestly, like paying my bills. But, and I saw you in his video, and I was like, oh, this is it. This is how I'm saying, like, if things don't happen naturally. Because I'm some Joe Schmo you don't know, like reaching out in your DMs, you're going to be like, oh, I'll get back to this guy later. Right. But I think because we have so many mutual friends now, it's like, oh, okay, this guy is like, he's good. He's good people. If he's friends with this person, I'm pretty sure you asked Buster or somebody about me. And
dude, like, I honestly, you had slid into the DMs, and I was like, oh, DJ Tonka. I was like, okay, I know that name. Right. And my wife literally went, that's the Phillies DJ. Like, again, she just got so pumped. She's like, she's like, he's the one who was there the other day because we've been to so many games this year. But she. Are
you going this weekend?
We will be there tomorrow night. I'll be there.
I'm there Saturday and Sunday.
Gotcha. Honestly, might get tickets. Who knows? We've been to so many games, but we will be in section 101 in the overalls. So I'm going to try to get Brandon Marsh's attention. We took a picture with him when he was doing his rehab stint down at the Lehigh Valley. So I
wish people could come to BP, so I could probably arrange that. But
yeah, that would be cool.
We DJ 1 hour BP for the team. I don't know if I can. That's a hard sell.
It's tough
because I can't. It's such a weird thing. It's in like this thing we signed. We can't approach the players as they approach us. Mm-hmm. So the only reason why I've talked to Sosa before is because he talked to me. Same goes like in the cafeteria when I first met Kruk. Right. Like, same thing. They have to acknowledge you first. You're like not allowed to bother them.
Can you make eye contact with them?
Yes.
Like this kind of be like
my first game. I don't know if I ever told this story on the podcast. My first game ever at the Philly Stadium. I didn't even have my own jersey yet. Mm-hmm. I wore Kruk's batting jersey. Yes. It's the all maroon one.
Love that.
Number 9. I think it's 19.
Yep.
I wore it, and I'm in the cafeteria line. First day. Don't know anybody.
New kid on the block.
Literally, everyone's looking at me. No one knows who I am. I'm just standing there in line waiting. Here comes Kruk walking by me, gives me a head nod.
Yes.
I was like, I just got head nodded by fucking John Kruk. I'm in. So I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, it's the best jersey ever, man. He goes, thanks, bro. And he just kept walking. Yeah. Now I see him every day. And he head nods me. I've been seeing him for 2 years now. He head nods me. He doesn't know my name, I don't think.
Sure.
T-Mac now knows us, which is phenomenal. That was the coolest thing. We did a Aaron Nola event. Okay. He asked us to DJ, which was so cool. We did it for free, obviously, for charity. So we all took like an hour. I think it was like half-hour sets. We all did a half-hour set at this thing. And T-Mac, he would just, because he's in like dugout, like doing interviews and all with like Rob Thompson and everything before the game and during BP. So he knew who we were, but not kind of like why we were there. So he like got to talk to us, and he shouted us out on the air the next day, which was the coolest thing. That someone of like T-Mac's like
stature,
like that know who we were. And I was like, holy crap. Then he shouted us out because he messed up my friend Scooter's name, and he said, I forget even what he said. He said something completely not Scooter at all, and he apologized to him on air the next day.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you saw my Instagram, I got a picture with Dan Baker the other day with his ring. I was like, Dan is the nicest person. He knows who I am. So it's like,
that's incredible.
It's so cool when they're not like famous people, but they're famous to us because we're Philly guys. It's just so cool to be in there. And like,
dude, isn't it like, it's one of those things where I'm sure you felt this, but when you start to get acknowledged, not acknowledged, but recognized by people, and then you go up to those people who you thought were so far out of reach, and they know who you are, and you're like, we're all just people. Yeah. We're all just breathing the same air here. Yeah. And you kind of take them off that pedestal a little bit. Like the other day when I met Brandon Marsh, I was starstruck because you're like, holy shit, that's Brandon Marsh. But I did say to him, like, Marsh, you got to let I yelled this at him, but Marsh, you got to let the big dogs eat. And I barked at him, and he just laughed. And that was it. But like, I didn't think in that moment to like just say, hey, my name's Chase. I'm here. I just shot.
Yeah. You even forget.
I know, right? But my wife gets on me all the time for that. She's like, "That's not your name." I was like, "Well, it's not." I was like, "But it is."
Yeah.
But we went up, and I'm usually like, "Hey, my name's Doug. My name's Chase. Pleasure to meet you. I'm here with the social media," because it's just so cool. But then there's other times where you meet some of these people, and you're just like, just a regular guy. And I love the same time when people approach me. Again, I'm a dude who eats food on my phone, and for whatever reason, 20,000+ people watch it. And that's such like a blessing and such a humbling thing.
Yeah.
But when you start talking to those people that you've held at the next level and go, oh my God, I want people just to say hi to me and be like, hey, can I take a picture? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm sure they're the same way of like
I'm friends with the Philly sports guy, the dude who paints his face.
Jamie.
Jamie.
Yeah.
So he shouted me out one time on one of his videos, and then people are coming up to me, yo, I saw you in PSG's video. Can I take a picture?
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking pictures with little kids all the time.
Yeah.
Which is, I'll stop whatever I'm doing to help make a kid's day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot of people do it at Citizen Bank Park. Or like if we're out and about, like we had somebody else the other day when we did Mama Russo's in Feasterville, they drove by and we're like, it's a 10 out of 10. And like, it's cool. Like you don't realize, and it sounds like such an arrogant thing to say, but somebody literally DM'd me this the other day and I got chills and like got slightly emotional because this is the farthest thing I ever could have anticipated happening. But somebody's like, dude, I struggle with depression and anxiety, and watching your videos makes me happy. And I like, it stopped me in my tracks, and I'm like,
I just got chills listening.
Yeah, I'm getting choked up talking about it because it's just like people take time out of their day for whatever it is, 60 to 90 seconds, that sweet spot that I try to hit to hold me, just stop whatever they're doing to watch a video of me eating food.
It's unreal.
And it's
Social media, like people hate on it, for other, reasons.
Sure.
But I went through a big weight loss journey, right? Mm-hmm. So like I was 200. It's funny. I'm almost the same weight now, but it's a different 220.
Sure.
I was 239, lost like 65, 66 pounds. And people, I documented the whole thing on my Instagram. Every so often I do a check-in, body weight, body shape. And people that I didn't even know that follow me were like, dude, I'm just going to let you know, like even women and men were hitting me up saying, I just want to let you know, I wasn't going to go to the gym today, but you just motivated me to do that.
That's awesome.
And I had so many people saying those things. And then I get people saying they listen to my podcast every Friday. And when I don't put an episode out, they don't know what to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, that just makes me feel good. Like people want to listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and like,
man.
And I my buddies, this girl, he just started talking to. Mm-hmm. They were listening to my podcast. She goes, I listened to this. And he's like, how'd you find it? She's like, I don't know. Somebody posted it. I listened to it and I love it. I listen to it every week.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know this person. And I'm like, wow. I was like, this is crazy.
It's such a humbling thing. And that's where like, I'll talk to some people and be like, oh, don't let his head get too big. Don't let his head get too big when people come up.
Says that all the time to me.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't pay these people to come up to me and be like, hey, can I get a picture? But I also try my best to express to everybody, like it's such a blessing and it's such a heartwarming thing is the best way I can describe it when somebody comes up and says those things.
Like when NBC shouted you out the other day.
Yeah,
that's huge, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty.
If they would have put your Instagram on, you would have went from 23.5 to 28.5.
But like it's things like that, and when people like outside of the Phillies game, there was a gentleman who walked up and he just kept like pointing at me, and you could see it on his face of like he knew exactly who I was. He just couldn't remember the name. So I looked at him. I just started smiling. I was like, "Say it." I was like, "Where do you know me from? Say it. Say it.
Yeah,
say it." He's like, "Chase you." He's like, "I follow your Instagram."
Yeah.
And it's just stuff like that again just means the world to have whatever impact that is.
Yeah.
But
it's amazing, man. The power of social media, isn't it?
It is, and that's what like from a business standpoint, I've talked to people about it, and like colleagues, the businesses that we visit and stuff, it's gone from like social media is still social media. Like it can be a time waster and like just sharing, moments with your family of you at the beach, and you're like, oh, I want all my friends to see this that I went to high school with. Like all that stuff, and it's fine. But it's become like it is the new version of marketing, and I think that's the beauty of like being able to connect with these businesses and go, this is how you grow.
Yeah.
Now, because you have instant access to somebody's daily routine because they're going to check their phone most likely. They're not picking up the newspaper. They might not even be turning on the TV because they're going to watch TV on the train. You have direct access to them. Utilize it to grow your business. And I think the bigger piece of that I always talk to like the people that we work with about is if people aren't putting their TV on, they're not getting inundated with ads from multi-billion-dollar food corporations being like, oh, come here, come eat our pizza, come eat our subs, come eat this, that, the other thing. No, they're being influenced by the person who just went out, who lives in your neighborhood, who went to a place that you probably haven't heard of.
Right.
And now you're going to go support your neighbor who's putting their kids through the same school that your kids are going to.
Yep.
Like, that's the beauty of this all. And I think for a lot of the businesses who still look at social media as like, oh, no, I don't need social media or I don't need this. It's a tool. It's not just a time waster. It's not just something to be like, oh, the kids today, like this is where they spend all their time. Utilize it as the tool that people probably thought the newspaper was back in the day. Be like, oh, nobody talks to each other. They're just reading the newspaper. Nobody talks to each other. They're just on their phone. Well, there's an opportunity there for you. So
yeah,
again, to be able to have people trust you enough to come tell a story about their business, and then for people to take the time to watch you telling that story about somebody else's business, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. And that was one of the things that brought me to you too, is like, I saw you in the video and you could just tell, like, and your other videos too, not just the one with Buster. It was just like, you could tell you're a likable dude. Like,
I
and it's very transparent. Cause like a lot of people, you could tell if they're faking it.
Right.
Right. And like, I'm myself all the time. So it's like, I'm pretty sure you're the same way too.
Who you see is who you get,
right.
Whether it's on your phone or in person.
Right.
I try to be very consistent and be the same.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So what, like your whole life, like I guess your whole life has kind of been surrounded by food. If your dad had a pizza shop, but was there any specific food that you liked so much growing up that it like I guess cheesesteaks would be this answer.
I was going to say it is. Yeah.
Well, do you remember the first cheesesteak you ever had?
I don't remember the first, but I know like my dad owned a shop. The place was called New World Village originally. Then he sold it. And then he bought it back, and it was too much to change the name, so he just kept it as what the name was. It was Marabello's. It was on Tarsdale and Van Dyke down in Wissinoming.
No, exactly where that
is. Right on the corner.
My family owned a gas station on Tarsdale and Friendship. It was a Sunoco.
Okay. Yeah.
We owned that until I was about 17, so like 20 years ago.
Yeah, holy wow. Super small world.
Yeah,
really
right across from Esposito's.
Yeah. So we that was the pizza shop that my dad ended up buying back, and that's where we lived on top of the pizza shop.
Yeah.
But he just had such a great spice blend, and certainly I'm biased. It's my dad, and that was the cheesesteak that I knew growing up and loving. But there was just a way when you bit into that, you're like, oh, this is dad's.
I just got a great idea for a video.
Yeah, hit me with it.
You should have your dad make you a cheesesteak and you review it.
Yeah, I've thought about that. I thought he's also a guy who's like, I don't want to be on camera.
He doesn't have to be. None of these people are on camera.
Yeah, right.
You just walk into like your family's house one day. We're like, oh, we're here to try this. Let's give it a shot.
Here we are.
I love it.
Here
like
that'd
be a good idea because you can get your dad a new flat top or something. You know,
something easy.
Why'd you get this for Christmas? You'll see.
I'll see if who is it? Blackstone wants to sponsor a video.
Yeah, can you imagine? You'll probably make your dad's day.
Yeah,
for
right.
That'd be so cool.
But
man.
no, it was he had a really good cheesesteak. I actually just talked to him about this the other day because he'll ask. He's like, "Where are your top cheesesteaks?" So, Cafe Carmel is my number one.
Yeah.
Angelo's is number two.
I haven't had one yet. I gotta try it.
Angelo's is as advertised, but people have said it, and I get it. When you have that amount of volume of people, it's tough to keep that same quality up. Thankfully, we went on a good day, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And then John's Roast Pork, top tier.
Top tier.
Absolutely top tier. And he's like, "Oh, is Cafe Carmel better than mine?" And I was like, well, Dad, the game has changed. And he's like, don't try to walk it back now, man. He's like you said what you said. And I'm like,
but Dad developed your taste buds.
He did. That's a good point. Dad, if you're listening, thank you for that.
Yeah.
But no, I think I've talked about this. The cheesesteak game has changed so much too. Like now people are using the seeded rolls instead of just like the Amoroso super soft rolls. Amoroso, in my opinion, the quality's just gone down.
Yeah. Well, they're so mass produced.
That's
now.
the thing. It's tough. So, but when you have a place like Sarcone's or Licio's, or even Conshohocken Bakery, like there's a lot of really good local rolls that are around here. But then Cooper Sharp's changed the game. Everybody using that. And then if you have a good spice blend, like it's all, and it doesn't need to take much. But somebody just commented this the other day on one of my Instagrams. They're like, why do we need all these food reviewers for cheesesteaks? I don't get it. Don't they all taste the same? And I was like, no, they don't. Now you get it. Now you get
why we're around.
Yeah,
so you said 3. Who's 4 and 5? Because none of mine are on there yet.
Yeah, if I'm going out of Philly, it's got to be Berardi Brothers makes a really good one.
I've had it. It's
and
good.
Whether it's Sea Isle or whether it's
I had the Sea Isle one.
Yeah, both really good. I'm trying to think who else. I don't know that this is going to be number 5. But there's a couple really good ones out there just to shout them out. Meatheads in Lawrenceville, New Jersey has a packed cheesesteak, and they're sleepers because I don't think a lot of people know that they're there, and they do a great job on social media. I think there's the fella named Tyler Drama is his name who does their social media. Excellent job, but their cheesesteak is awesome. And then there's a little spot. It's nothing like, I don't want to say it's crazy good. Like, it's not top tier, but it's pretty damn good. It's Guido's on Route 13, Frankfurt Ave, Bristol Pike, whatever you want to call it. It's right across the street from Holy Ghost Prep. I think people sleep on that.
Never been there.
Yeah, nobody knows that it's there.
Yeah.
Stumbled in there one day. That was awesome. And then a place we just did, Mama Russo's in Feasterville, Trevose. They're very similar to Berardi Brothers.
Okay.
I have Berardi Brothers ahead of them. Joe's used to be my favorite in Fishtown.
Yeah.
Right on Tarsdale.
Yeah, I know exactly what it is.
Yeah. Joe's formerly known as
my favorite cheesesteak. You probably it's a Steve's kind of steak, Phillips. I know.
That's my lowest ranked cheesesteak I've ever done.
I love Phillips, man.
That is so.
Well, that's like our DJ hangout, so it's kind of biased, I guess, because you got to remember I'm eating cheesesteaks at like 4 a.m.
Sure,
you know what I mean. So my late night cheesesteak, my favorite late night cheesesteak, because my favorite cheesesteak during the day is Barry's. Yeah,
I mean I haven't gotten there since they added the Cooper Sharp to the menu, but I do want to get back. But Phillips, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. That was I think I gave them like a 5.4 out of 10. And again, I don't really like giving out bad scores because I'm a huge believer that a bad review does so much more harm than a good review ever will. But also knowing that no matter what I say about a place like Phillips, D'Alessandro's, Jim's, Steve's, not going to make a difference to their business. They've done such a great job. However, I talked to a couple of guys down at Quaker City String Band, and they told me that Phillips is incredibly hit or miss. You're going to go there and it's going to be either the best cheesesteak that you've ever had, or you're going to go there and it is not going to be good. And I unfortunately caught them on a bad day. I'll happily go back.
Yeah.
It's
because like I said, we go at like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's no one in line. So it's like, we're getting fresh, you know what I mean? Double meat. I get their hot sauce slaps. So that's a big seller for me.
Okay.
Because I don't put ketchup or anything. I just put hot sauce on my cheesesteaks normally. Okay. Like I eat them plain sometimes, but like if this place has good hot sauce, like people hate on me for it, but like I'll go to Gino's just for their hot sauce. I won't get a cheesesteak there. I'll just buy their hot sauce or steal a little ramekin of it.
I've never had Gino's.
Really?
Never had Gino's.
Don't, if you haven't. Don't. Their meatball sandwich is good. But.
Yeah, I've heard like their hoagies and their other sandwiches are really, really good. There's a guy who I connected with on TikTok. His name, I think his actual name, his government name, sticking with this theme, is Frankie, but his handle is Tony Stromboli. Excellent
Love that handle.
Yeah, Tony Stromboli. And he's always like, dude, door's always open. Like, I'll come back. And I'll give it to them. Like, they get a lot of grief. But there's a gentleman who owns, with his wife, Steve and Patricia, Collegeville Italian Bakery, one of my favorite places to go to. They have everything. He's good friends with, what's his name? Joey Vento? What's his son's name?
Joey.
Yeah, Joey.
Yeah.
So he's friendly with him. And he said this to Joey. He's like, Joey, look, you guys get a lot of grief, but nobody ever talks about the losers. He's like, everybody's always talking. They're probably talking about the winner. So I appreciate that. I know, again, Gino's gets a lot of grief. They've been doing something right for a reason. Tony is
still in business.
Yeah. And Tony is very open and like showing everything on TikTok behind the counter. It looks pristine back there. Look, it looks so clean. He's always very transparent. So I want to get down there. I don't think it's going to be anything that like knocks my socks off. It's a South Philly neighborhood joint, much like Steve's is a Northeast Philly neighborhood joint. I think that's what Pat's and Gino's is. But I've only had Pat's, didn't do anything for me years ago. Maybe I'll revisit that one.
Yeah.
But I do want to get to Gino's because of Tony Stromboli and his transparency.
I love that name.
It's great.
Right? I love Strombolis too.
I mean, Strombolis are fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, if you're doing a Stromboli, you putting the sauce inside or you sauce on the outside?
I'm dipping it, I think.
That's how I do it. Yeah. I think it gets a little too soggy.
Yeah. See, I knew we were going to be hit it off. So, as a former, heavy guy, I used to eat like a lot of stuff, like all the time. You see, whatever I wanted, all the time. So if it's not cheesesteaks, what's your second go-to if you're going to do a review? You're like, if you have a couple things lined up for that week, is there something that you really want to do that you're going to do instead?
Review-wise, honestly, dude, breakfast sandwiches like bagels, and I know people are going to be listening, why does he say bagels weird? I call it bagels, B-E-G-L-E-S.
Yeah.
But bagel sandwiches, I will eat them every hour of the day, all day, every day. That's like for whatever reason, I happen to really enjoy them, and those videos also do pretty well for me. So there's a couple spots that are around me. Silvio's does a really good. They bake their own bread, which is great. Silvio's has a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich on their fresh baked roll. Phenomenal. HG Bucks Bagels. They do a couple different things. They've been really good. But Doylestown, for whatever it is, has like 3 or 4 different bagel places. One is called Bagel Barrel. The other one is called Burrow Bagel. So it gets very confusing. And then another one is called Village Bagel, I think. And that's in like Warrington. So just like a block away from Doylestown.
Right-ish. Yeah.
Stellar. Absolutely stellar. So if I'm doing a review, that's probably the food that I'm going to indulge in the most is a breakfast sandwich.
Yeah.
I got to ask you. I ask this to a lot of people. When it comes to like a breakfast meat on a breakfast sandwich or just a breakfast meat in general, are you going with scrapple, you going with bacon, or are you going with sausage?
Bacon sausage guy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had, so my dad is a big scrapple guy. I never wanted to try it because it always looked gross.
Yeah.
So shout out to my buddy, DJ Rhino. He's a big Seattle guy too. So me and him got really close this summer. He made me try a piece of scrapple for the first time this summer. Well done scrapple. Ate it. Loved it.
Yeah.
This is delicious.
I can't do it, man.
Really?
I'm not like...
I can't eat the whole patty, but
sure.
I can take a bite of it, a bite or two and be good. I can't put it on a breakfast sandwich though.
No, I just think it's too mushy. Wife loves it, but growing up in Philly, people are like...
Northeast, for sure.
Yeah, they're like, how don't you like it? And she's a Delco girl.
Yeah.
But she's like, how don't you like it? I'm like,
it's like pork roll. I don't like pork roll.
Good. I do like pork roll, but like if it comes to a breakfast meat, if I'm going out to a diner,
it's bacon sausage all day.
That's what I'm doing. That's
why I eat it every day. I eat 2 eggs, 2 pieces of sausage, 3 pieces of bacon.
Super keto. Let's go.
Every breakfast, even if I'm not on keto, it's my super breakfast because it's like the fat range is kind of midway, but the protein level's through the roof.
Yeah, you're satiated the entire day.
Literally.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, man.
But I just think like you get a nice, good sausage link. That like the value, the bang for your buck is there. Bacon's delicious, but if I had to pick between the two, I'm going sausage.
Yeah.
But I will say, if I'm just indulging, no review, no nothing, I'm a big barbecue guy, man.
Yeah.
Sweet Lucy's Barbecue on State Road is my favorite restaurant. Yeah.
Now it's like there's a wait for that stuff now.
It is.
I remember when they first opened, they were like a little trailer.
Yeah, they were the trailer and then bought that thing and they're expanding. To my knowledge, they're expanding again. The only reason I know that is because they posted blueprints on their Instagram the other day.
Oh boy.
But
that's how you know something's going down.
Get the double trouble there. Walk in, ribs, sliced brisket, double mac and cheese or mac and cheese mashed potatoes, and you get cornbread on the side. It's like a little dessert.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
My dad loves that place. And I remember when they were a little trailer, he would stop by there, grab some ribs and bring them home. Have you ever been to Deeks here in Manio?
I haven't been to Deeks. I've heard good things. And then,
since they closed the restaurant one, now they own this little takeout joint. They have another takeout place around here somewhere. They have a brisket cheesesteak. It's pretty good.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
We just had we were hanging out with G-Mac and the boys up at the Phillies game. They brought over some of the cheesesteaks from the different spots in Citizens Bank Park. And
I'd love to know.
Dude, Ruben Amaro Jr. was like, you guys want some of these? Like, we're not going to eat all of them. And I was like, yes. And we were starving. But I got the Bull's Barbecue one because I've had that before. And we had Bull's Barbecue, and I think it was the Campos one. Campos one was a little dried out. I don't mind Campos down on, what is that, Market Street?
Yeah.
Not bad whatsoever.
It's in Old City.
Yes. Yeah. And then we also had the Bull's Barbecue. That whatever cheese he's got going on there, I don't know if I was starving or if it was just that good, but it's their brisket cheesesteak.
I bet.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So my favorite cheesesteak at the ballpark is Campos Heater.
Okay.
You ever have it?
No. Is it long hots on that?
No, it's a cheesesteak with buffalo cheddar and hot sauce.
That sounds awesome.
It's
buffalo
amazing.
Cheddar.
Yeah, dude, so good.
Philly Cap asked me that the other day. Shout out to you, John. He's like, what's your...
You just sounded like...
Yeah. Here we are.
Here we are. Make sure you got to do standing ovation for Trey Turner.
He fixed them.
He fixed them. He shouted them out, too. He said thank you for it.
It was awesome.
He has a billboard in his honor.
He's, what did he say? He's like, what's your favorite cheesesteak in Citizens Bank Park? And I was like, honestly, Cap, I was like, I've never had one. He's like, why? You're the cheesesteak guy. But I was like, look, man, I'm nervous that I'm not going to like it, and I don't want to do that. I do want to try Uncle Charlie's though. Like people were like, when we saw him at opening day, they were like, "Oh, try Uncle Charlie's, try Uncle Charlie's."
I never get a chance to walk around the ballpark.
Yeah,
when I walk in, that's the first. You know what sucks? I don't really go to games if I'm not working.
Yeah,
because like,
is it a separation for you of like this is work and this is like I can't play where I work? Or
no, because like I've been to games when I'm not working. It's just weird.
Yeah,
because like I use my ID for like discounts around the ballpark, but I can't drink with my ID on. I can't do all these things with my ID on. So like, I'd rather just not go through the hassle sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
And sometimes I have to pay for tickets, like, which is sucks.
Yeah.
Like next year, we're putting something in our contract where we get like 2 tickets to any game we want to go to.
Yeah.
But if I want tickets to a game, I got to ask like 2 weeks in advance. I don't know what I'm doing 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, dude, yeah, I
booked you for this last week.
Everything's just so quick. It just kind of happens.
This summer's jam packed for me.
Yeah.
So it's like, I enjoy going to Phillies games. Like, I've been a Phillies fan my whole life. Like, so this is like, dream come true to me. So like, when I'm at so many games now where it's like, I don't know if I want to go to a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I never get a chance to walk around the ballpark. So when people come like from out of town to come see me at a game or something, my buddy, big foodie, he actually goes, he has season tickets to Iron Pigs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he brought me up there last year to go do like a food tour around the ballpark. And that definitely cheated that. I was eating everything.
That concourse is nuts,
dude. And he knew every good spot to go to. He's like a legend when it comes to food. Got him on keto. He lost like 60 pounds too. But I brought him to Sis Bank Park. He came. He sat with me when I was DJing. He's a DJ as well, so he was kind of like immersed in everything.
Sure.
He brought me the chicken sandwich from what the hell is it? Gives it a C.
Ryan Howard's place. You're talking to Citizens Bank.
Yeah,
right?
The
new
that
place.
chicken spot. It's like right behind home plate.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of
Kelly's
it.
Chicken.
Something like that.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So he got me the original
Yeah.
hot. Wasn't impressed.
Right.
Apparently, their sandwich is a Nashville hot.
Okay.
And Nashville hot for me is like hit or miss.
Yeah.
Like it either be too sweet or too hot.
Yeah.
I haven't found one like really in the middle. But so there's a couple of places I've been wanting to try at Citizens Bank. So like maybe I'll get together. Maybe I'll get together with you, Buster. We'll all go to a game.
I'm honestly, man, at the game, I'm usually pretty simple. I got a burger yesterday when I was there.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just saw it. I wanted fries, but they only came with chicken fingers or a burger. I was like, I'll go burger today.
Yeah.
But I'm usually just like a simple, give me the souvenir cup. We've collected most of the team at this point, and Chicky and Pete's. That's it. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I'll eat beforehand because, again,
he's killing it, man. Chickies. He has a popcorn stand you just go up to. It's like self.
Have you had it? I'm so intrigued by it.
No.
I'm just like,
to be honest, I hate popcorn.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my mom, she's not longer with us, but she, I used to make so much popcorn for her. So like, I hate the smell of the popcorn. Reminds me of her. I'd rather not be around.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense. That makes total sense.
When I go to the movies, I'm like, nope, get that away from me. The smell of popcorn, I just hate it.
Yeah.
It just brings back memories.
Knock it out of somebody's hand.
Yeah. Like, I'm here to fuck shit up. I'm sorry. I know you didn't want to curse.
No, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. You can curse.
Yeah.
This is your podcast.
Yeah. Right. That's funny too about the cursing thing. Cause like I try not to curse.
Yeah.
Because like I was on Sean Brace's radio show and I bleeped myself and then I said the F word once. Thank God it's on a delay and he caught it. He's like, whoa. I was like, I know I usually bleep myself.
Yeah,
dump
button. Boom.
I was like, I thought we were on the podcast for a second because I've had him on the podcast and we were just bullshitting, talking about gambling and Phillies and like I just didn't know. I don't know. I just messed up.
I don't know the etiquette of radio.
Yeah,
and
I know,
FCC.
right?
Sorry.
Thank God it's a stream, so like he was able to hit the dump button, like you said. But so it just amazes me how was 2 weeks ago we didn't know each other, but the power of social media, like I've seen you all over the place, and I love how organically you blew up.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah,
like it was so like you could tell you didn't buy any followers. You could tell that you're just a genuine dude, and it just blew up because people can just tell through the camera if you're faking it or not. Yeah. And I love to see the organic growth, man, because that's like you can't pay for that.
No, and like I had a huge help in that. I mean, there was a lot of people who were incredibly supportive, and of course, like with some friends and family, at first you're like, oh, what is this? Yeah, I guess I'll watch, and then once it starts to get some legs underneath it, you're like, oh man, good for you. Like we're really doing it. But I've had an incredibly supportive team. I say it all the time. Like when we do stuff like this, when the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs is like, oh, we got tickets whenever you want. When people are like, hey, bring your friends and family, like we'll cover the meal and stuff. When I win, the team wins, man. I'm nothing without them. And
I love that.
I don't say that lightly. I mean that with every ounce of my being of like when I win, the team wins. I'm not doing this just for me. Like I remember my wife jokingly one time was like, oh, you're just doing this because you want to be famous. And I said, I was doing it before because I wanted to be famous. I said, now if that's a byproduct of this, I said, that's great. I said, I'm doing this for all of us. I said, I want every single person who has ever helped or ever stepped foot in my life to help to be good. Like, and I don't know how big I need to be for that to happen. But again, it's even those things where, hey, we're going to a game and everything's covered. We got it. Let's go. We go out to eat. we're good. We got stuff. We got free food out of this. That means so much because these people have been with me for so long through every iteration of what Chase U has been, or whatever iteration of Doug has been.
Yeah.
And like, again, we
love
are
that your name is Doug.
Yeah.
I used to love that cartoon.
Yeah.
You should be Quail Man for Halloween.
I was one year.
Oh, no.
I was, yeah. Belt and everything.
Love that.
But like, we are the people we're surrounded by, and I got a really, really good team. In the words of Drake, I got a really big team, and we got some really big dreams. So
I love that,
need
man.
some really big rings.
Nice.
So like, that's been really cool. But also like, the content creator community within Philadelphia is so cool. Like, I know that there's bad eggs everywhere, right? But there's been a lot that I've been able to connect with, who've been really, really good to me and really great to get to know. And Feeding Time TV, David Wes was one of the first to reach out to me, and he straight up said, he's like, I want to get to know you. I want to get to know your story. And this is maybe when I had 7,000 Instagram followers. Like, for me, I was like, this is great. But at the time, I think he had 45 or 47. And I'm like, what's this? Like, what does he want from me? Like, what is this? And we went down to a place in Chinatown called Ray's Cafe and Tea Shop. Awesome spot right down the street from the Reading Terminal Market. And he just goes, dude, I just want to break bread with you. He goes, your stuff is so good. He goes, I have no doubt that you're going to blow up. He goes, I just wanted to get to know you, the guy behind the camera. So he's a big reason why I think like I did a collaboration with him, and that was kind of like a big jolt of followers because, you know, you're able to tap into his market now, essentially. Yeah. But he's been such a blessing, and then getting to know his network a little bit more. But like you said, having this conversation right here to reach out to somebody in a DM, be like, I like your vibe. I like your energy. Yeah. It seems like it's authentic and genuine through the camera. Let's see if it's like that in real life. Like, there's just a lot of really great people out there, and it doesn't feel like, you know, on social media when you connect with these people in real life, you're like, oh, not everybody on here is an asshole. Like, you're like, I want to hang out with you. There's another great kid, Traveling Taste Buds. He's like 24 years old. His name's PJ. Really, really good kid. Have been able to meet him and just like work together and shoot ideas off. And again, Buster said this beautifully, and I was like, this is probably the best way I've heard this described. And it's so simple. I don't think it's his phrase, but I give him credit. But a rising tide raises all ships. And it's like, gee, right? It's like, damn. So if we all get in this together and everybody's a good person, it's like, look, we're not out here trying. Yeah,
we're not here trying to hurt anybody. Yeah, we're out here trying to have fun. Did your headphones just go out?
No, I'm good.
Mine went out. So weird. I just got this new adapter, and I was like, I had 4 guests on one day, and I was like, I had 4 people here, and I was like, I don't have 4.
I don't know how to do this.
I just got this new thing, and then my headphones just went out. I don't know what the hell. No, I was like, I hope that as long as this part's working, right? I don't really care. But yeah, see, it went out again. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I need to record. I'm always here, like, messing with it. Yeah. And if you like, it's not because I'm bored. It's just because I don't know what to do with it. It's just
I feel the same way. That's why I have coffee.
Has it been empty this whole time?
No, we still got a little bit in it, but it's like my security blanket. Like, I need something to do with my hands, and it's like coffee cup feels good.
So I always ask this on the podcast: where do you see Doug, not Chase? Because they're 2 different entities now. Yeah. Where do you see Doug in 5 years, and where do you see Chase U in 5 years?
Yeah, great question. And I can appreciate you saying they're 2 different entities, but I have to bring it back and be like, it's all the same. It's just a different name. But
I respect that.
It's the same exact person. It's the same exact thing. Hopefully in 5 years, man, we already got LLC. So we're already
LLC Chase U?
We LLC. So Chase U Productions is a thing. I want to do that full time. I want to make Chase U LLC the gig. I absolutely love what I do. I love my job. But if I can go around business to business, door to door, person to person, get to know their story, get to be creative, have the creativity to be able to tell their story in the way that I know that I can tell it, and help that business and that brand grow, perfect. If I could be the next Bob Kelly, if I could be the next Jen Fred, if I could be the next Guy Fieri, that would be a dream job, because the whole goal of this, much like with what they do, is to showcase these businesses to people who may not have heard of it or known of it, and get business to that person who just opened their doors, who may need a little extra help, so that they can have, live out the dreams the way that they want it to, by cooking cheesesteaks, by making pizza, by doing whatever the hell it is that they want to do. I want to do that full time. And I don't think that we're terribly far away from it, but that would be a dream come true. And all the benefits that come with it of, like, going to a Phillies game and getting noticed. Really cool.
Did any of those dudes know who you were?
They don't, but Brandon Marsh might now, since we took a picture with each other.
Yeah. Did you tag him?
I did tag him.
He's a big social media guy.
He is. Yeah. A couple of those guys are a little bit more on social media than others. Schwarber's Neighborhood Heroes. Love what they do. It's a lot for like the first responders and the nurses and doctors out there. Awesome stuff. Their social media person just reached out to me and was like, hey, would you mind just sharing? Like, they're having a block party that's coming up on September 10th down at Yards. And like, would you mind sharing it? And somebody reached out to me today. They're like, oh, what's your affiliation with them? I said, they asked me to share it, and it's a great thing. Why would I not? So
right.
To be able to potentially get to know Schwarber would be really cool.
Yeah,
but again, man, that's the 5-year goal is to
I love that.
To just
what do you do now during the day?
Yeah, so very open. I work at Drexel University. Shout out Dragons. I work for the College of Engineering, and I just go around and I talk to students about.
Is that what your degree is in engineering?
No.
No?
No, God.
Oh, my God.
I know nothing about engineering other than how to talk about it. Like,
okay. Did you go to college?
I did, yeah. So I went to good old Holy Family University, the Harvard of Northeast Philadelphia.
Right down the street from John Burns.
Yeah, good old JF Burns.
Every Tuesday, you get a round of golf and a hot dog and a bag of chips.
You can't beat it.
No.
You can't beat it. But no, went to Holy Family. Initially went for nursing, like everybody under the sun. Realized very quickly, love talking to people, hate talking to sick people. Just I'm such an empath where it was tough, man. It was tough. Yeah. Bedside manner was, from what I've heard, very good. But it's super tough. So thankfully I was a psychology minor after they so kindly asked me to say, hey, not for you, pal. So I ended up with psych, and that's what my degree is in. So
okay.
Ended up, I loved higher ed. I loved being in like student government and being involved in every single club. So somebody came up to me and was like, why don't you just work for a college? That way you never got to leave. And the guy who said that was, I think, like the assistant director of activities. And I was like, wait, you can get a job doing this? He's like, what the hell do you think I do? He's like, I do this for free. So, I've just been in recruitment and engagement for the last 12 years. And thankfully, I don't have many gifts, but the gift of gab is one of them. And it's done well for me.
It's transparent through that camera, my friend.
Thank you.
And that's that was my goal with this podcast, is let people hear other people's stories and how I can help them tell their stories and like bring out, people didn't know your name was Doug.
Right.
And people didn't know that you didn't go to school for engineering.
Yeah.
People didn't know that your dad owned a pizza shop.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that people didn't know. And like my goal at the end of next year was to hear my name on the radio, me talking on the radio in some capacity, whether I'm a guest co-host, something, right? Because I wanted to make Talking with Tonka like a show.
Right.
Like Howard Stern has a show.
Yeah.
Why can't I have a show?
Dude, isn't that the beauty of it? Like, there's so many people I'll get asked, like, why this? Why did you do this? How did you do this? I said, I just did it. Like, there's so much hesitation that we all have, right, in life of, I don't know if I can do that because it's going to be perfect. None of this is going to be perfect. I'm going to look back at these videos that I'm doing now that I think are exceptional, that are doing, oh my God, we got 45, 50,000 views in a week, and go, you know what? Could have done this better. Could have done that better. Life is way too short to sit there and be like, oh, I'm going to hesitate. I'm not going to do this stuff. Like, go out and do it. Try, fail, do all of the shit that you want to do, because at the
I didn't think I'd be 27 episodes in.
Right, dude. Like,
I had no idea.
I don't want to sit at the end of the day and be like, I didn't try that. I want to have all these cool experiences that lead, like, that give me a great story to tell, or a good story to tell, even if it's just at family parties. I don't care. But it is really cool when you get to sit there and people are like, oh my God, you were on the field at the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs game. How'd you do that? And it's like, well, I technically the way I did that was by eating a cheesesteak so many times that people are like, oh, you're the food guy.
People love cheesesteaks.
But it's just like, it's way too short to do that. And that was the whole like chase you thing, was, again, chase the best version of you. And it's not something I market anymore, but that's.
And I have a shirt now.
Yeah, right?
I wonder if I have an extra large Tonka shirt in the car. When I walk you out, I'm going to look. Yeah. I'll gift you one of those. My new one, though, my new one's hot, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll save it for the new one. I'll give you one of the new ones. It says, so I just went with my logo on the shirt this time. Just says Tonka real small. And I went like, the art gallery shirts? Yeah. Where it's gallery art, where it's just like a little logo and a little logo on the back, or big logo on the back. I kind of did that with my summer DJ logo.
Sure.
So now I saw this shirt down the shore this dude was wearing. He bought it off an Instagram ad. And it was like, I got to try to find my Instagram ad shirt.
Right.
I found it. I had this saying I say all the time, don't get old, it's a trap.
I love that. Right.
So I worked on a design with a buddy of mine that does all my printing. And if you need a guy for printing, I got you. My guy down the street. He's just amazing. So I was like, I made the logo. I'm like sitting with him. I'm like, I need to have music involved somehow.
Right.
I came together with this logo. It's a vinyl record, slapping hands with a cassette tape. And he's like, don't get old, it's a trap.
Let's go.
Like, boom. I was like, this is the shirt.
Oh, man.
So we got some final touches to do, but I'm going to put that one out because that's something I could sell on a broader scale.
Yeah.
Right? I could put that on a mug. I could put that on a T-shirt. I could put that on a sticker. And I have a drop shipping thing all set up, ready to go. So because I bought all my Tonka shirts in bulk like an idiot. And I put out like $300 and I finally got all my money back, which is phenomenal.
Sure.
And now anything I sell now is all profit, but I'm really just going to dump it into my new shirt. But I wanted to like, I used to have the 9 to 5, do all that thing.
Sure.
I was like, there has to be a way I can make money. Like I saw this guy on TikTok, he makes $1,200 a month off a stupid cactus mug.
Right.
Like, what? A cactus mug.
That's the thing. Like there was a lot, especially like during TikTok. I remember scrolling TikTok before we even like started doing the trending sounds. And I was like, I could do this better. And I remember vividly laying on my couch at one point scrolling. And I said to myself, don't talk about it, dude. Be about it. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And then that's where it was some day in December. Like I remember it so vividly. It was a month after, or a couple weeks after Kara and I had gotten married. And I was just like in this post-wedding funk of like, oh man, that was the best day of my life. And
how do I recreate that?
I'm crashing because again, being an empath, you're like, everybody's here for us. This is awesome. Yeah. So I'm just scrolling TikTok and I'm like, all right, man, don't talk about it. Be about it. You got all these people creating stuff. You're sitting here saying you could do it. And again, we've done it. And again, going back to me and Kara being able to do it together, that's been awesome. But like, just do this stuff. Make the video. Take the picture. Like all those cliches. Go on the trip. Do all like. It's just life's too short. And if you want to sit there and make money off cactus mugs, like what's your cactus mug? Go do it. Go figure it out.
That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah,
it's incredible.
I love that you're taking it and you ran with it and it worked.
Yeah.
So like I think that's what I've been trying to do my whole life is trying to find something that I know how to do. I know I just wanted to try to find something that works, and I think I finally found it.
Yeah, especially when it's like authentic and genuine to you, and it's again this stuff, holding a camera and eating food.
Yeah.
As much of it as it is, I guess, a side job, it does not feel like one. It's a lot of fun. And again, getting to know people and talk to them and know their story and have them trust me to tell it.
Yeah. And if you can ever use this platform in any way, you need to use my podcast to talk to anybody or do anything or bring me to an event to do something, let me know. My door is always open.
If you ever want to do a collab with some food, you let me know.
I think I'm going to talk to you off camera about an opportunity. I think we can really help this guy out.
Sure.
And like what I like about so getting to know you here is like you're about the story, and like a lot of people aren't, like you said, and it's like there's not like people like that in this world, and I thank you for being you, man.
I appreciate that.
I really appreciate you taking the trek to Manayunk.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to cut this short, but I got to get to work. Unfortunately, but I definitely want to make a part 2 with you. And if there's anywhere that you want to try or anybody you want to interview, like I said, this platform is all yours.
Yeah, maybe we'll do this a little live podcast.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it down at the Roque. He had Little Mo down there, Little Mo Mozzarella from New York. How you doing? Nobody move. Nobody gets hurt. I love that guy. He reshared our video. Me, Smooth, and a couple of us buddies, we were in Wawa and Sea Isle, and we just did, how you doing? All of us did it where we're pushing the buttons, and he reshared it. It was the coolest moment of my life.
Incredible.
I told Rich, the guy, one of the owners of the Rook, I was like, next time he comes there, I need to meet this dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like he told me how he met him. I was like, I know all these same people. I was like, well, how come I don't know him? Like, because like it's funny how small his world is.
Yeah, you'll get him on the podcast.
Yeah, can you imagine, Little Mo? He's a character though. Like,
yeah, he is.
He's that character the whole time. Like that's him, and that's what he's another just genuine dude. He's just like that's him. But
he's who you get.
He's getting a little bit with the money now, so he's money bit him a little bit. But I would love to see you take this full time, man. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. But I'm pretty sure those kids at Drexel need you though. So. Is that a full-time gig?
Full-time, yeah.
Because, like, are they trimester there? Or
yeah, they're quarter system.
Quarter.
Yeah,
so they're all year
10-week terms that loosely follow the seasons of fall, winter, spring, and summer. And there's a little sneak peek of what my info session sounds like to these students.
Did you have work today? Did you come right? Come right from there.
Thankfully, we work. I have a couple remote days, and Drexel's super supportive of it. So shout out to the College of Engineering.
Yeah, I love. How do you do it virtually? You talking to kids via Zoom?
So thankfully, they're out of school now. So
okay.
Yeah,
so you're just doing office kind of work. Yeah. All right. Well, I definitely appreciate you having on. Thank you for the gifts. I'm going to dive into these after work tonight. Sure. My late night sack.
Awesome.
What's in here? So we got a vanilla sprinkle
Little bit of everything that they packed in there, but my favorite is the powdered cream filled donut. That thing is
look at that sucker,
deadly.
Oh my god,
yeah, it's a good
I'm gonna
one.
go into a sugar coma.
I was gonna say maybe just split that one in half as your entryway back into the sugar.
Oh god, that's so good. I can't wait. Thank you so much for coming on. Do you have I know you have a link tree and everything, so I'll get all those links from you.
Yeah.
If you want to learn more about Chase U, aka Doug, you can look all in the description. All of his links and his link tree stuff will be there. Make sure you follow him on Instagram, and it's @_Chase_U. Right?
Nailed it.
See, I know what I'm doing. People don't think I do, but once I should have videoed this episode. This would have been really good. But that video thing, I went to school for video editing and audio production, and it's the biggest pain.
It's a pain.
These GoPros record in 8-minute clips. So like this is an hour and 25 minutes in. I would have to sync all those together, both cameras, and then sync all the audio. It was taking hours.
Not worth it.
I don't have the hours.
Not worth it.
So I'm getting an iPad Pro. I'm going to figure that out.
There we go.
I'm going to upgrade Talking with Tonka because
the people need it.
People need it. People need to see what Chase U looks like. Well, guys, he's a 7-foot handsome man. The first thing I said to you when you walked in my house, I was like, I didn't expect you to be this tall.
Yeah, I tell people when they're like, "How tall are you?" in almost every video, "Wow, you're really tall." I'm like, "I'm just a mere 5'9".
Yeah, you're like what, 6'5"?
6'4", yeah.
6'4", 6'5". Yeah, okay. All right. Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Episode 27 with Chase U. It's been a great episode. Thank you for tuning in. All the links in the description. Make sure you guys check us out next week. Episode 28. Thank you all. Peace.